I really like the picture that is my screensaver right now. It's of Bruce Springsteen in Calgary, but I didn't take this picture, and I prefer to always use pictures that I have taken. So when I stumbled upon this image on the High River online website, it was amazing. The road, the mountains, this picture has it all. I knew I had to go and get this picture and take this picture myself, as I always prefer to use pictures that I've taken. And voila, I would get my new screensaver. But when I discovered they have 16 murals and carvings to see in High River, I decided I had to go and take a look at what's happening in the town as well. But on the way to High River, I stumbled upon these 3 grain elevators in Mossley. And you know I love grain elevators. Mossley is a hamlet in southern Alberta within Vulcan County. It's approximately 63 kilometers southeast of Calgary. Few prairie towns can still lay claim to a row of 3 grain elevators. While this was once a common sight, these prairie icons are rapidly disappearing, and seeing 3 in a row is a rare occurrence. And just outside of High River, about 68 kilometers south of Calgary, I got my mountain shot, along with the roads in it. That is a beautiful picture. But here we are in High River. The community's history is captured in 16 beautiful murals and sculptures painted on building walls and located throughout the community. The first of which were painted in the 1990s, and the most recent being completed in 2016. Number 1 is called Chuck Wagon Races, and it was painted in 1993. Each year in June, High River hosts the North American Chuck Wagon Championships. Number 2, and there's a self-guided walking tour you can take, complete with a map provided by the community. Number 2 is Old Woman's Buffalo Jump. Before the Plains tribes had horses and guns, they would run herds of buffaloes off steep cliffs. Warriors would wait below with arrows, knives, and clubs to kill any animals that survived the fall. The Medicine Tree is one of the oldest paintings, done in 1990 by Brent Laycock. The tree was believed to have spiritual and healing powers and was a favorite among First Nations to camp. It fell over during a windstorm in 1958, but part of it has been preserved. Cattle Drive at the D Ranch was also painted in 1990. This was High River's first mural, as it was inspired by a photograph. The opening of the High River Club is number 5, and it takes place in 1905. The club rooms of the newly formed High River Club were opened with a formal ball. Fort Spitzy is number 6, and it was painted by Terry Winter in 1982. In the late 1800s, many whiskey traders from south of the border came to southern Alberta and set up trading forts where they exchanged liquor, arms, and ammunition for furs and buffalo hides. There were several forts on the Sheep and Highwood rivers, but the largest was Fort Spitzy. All right, now, Mural 7 is called High River Jubilation. Painted in 2016, the mural embraces the concept of community spirit joining together in the celebration of renewal, and it's missing from the wall the map says it's located on. I asked several residents, and none of them seemed to know where it was. Oh well, when it was there, it featured a sunny local landscape, a diverse community of dancers, and an inner circle of children protected by the dancers, representing hope, joy, and growth. Would have been nice to see number 7. Here's the 8th mural, and it's located between 2 buildings. The arrival of the supply train provided an opportunity for people to socialize and get caught up on the latest news. Aviation history in High River is covered and features Squadron Leader Ak Leach, one of Canada's outstanding aviators and a longtime resident of High River. He was awarded both the Military Cross and the Distinguished Flying Cross. High River's first nurse is Mural 10. Marie Meyer Davis was a trained nurse who lived and worked in High River from 1903 to 1939. The Right Honorable Joe Clark has a mural in High River. Yeah, he's from High River. His family has deep roots in the town, where his grandfather, Charles Clark Sr., started the High River Times in 1905. Now, most of the murals are still in very good shape, just faded by time and sunshine. This one could do with a bit of a makeover. Spitzy Crossing is one of the biggest of the paintings, created in 1994. Spitzy Crossing was the only accessible place to cross the Highwood River to the old Fort Macleod Trail from Fort Macleod to Calgary. A bridge replaced the ferry in 1887. One of my favorite writers is sitting on a bench in mural number 13. W.O. or Bill Mitchell. His work includes such Canadian classics as Who Has Seen the Wind and Jake and the Kid. Bill and his wife Myrna and their family lived in High River from 1944 to 1968. He taught English, social studies, and drama at High River High School. Bill and Myrna are buried in High River Cemetery. We've arrived at the George Emerson statue now, number 14 on the map. In 1879, George Emerson and his partner Tom Lynch brought 1,000 head of cattle from Montana to the north side of the Highwood River. He is sometimes known as the father of High River. New Roots, painted by Michelle Laherty in 2016, is our final painting. The design reflects the unity of the community working together to move forward through spirit and determination. The design was selected by a community from artist submissions from across Canada. And last, certainly not least, in High River's Mural and Sculpture Walk is a wolf sculpture. Created in mid-1990, the wolves were carved out of a tree that had been planted in 1893. Cottonwood saplings had been planted around the First River train station that was located here. Part of one of the trees was saved when local artists carved the wolves. They're just amazing and beautiful to see. A walking tour of the murals will take you past the historic Wales Theatre, the town's original train station, and your walk to discover the murals starts across from the Museum of the Highwood, which is also worth visiting, and they have beautiful sunsets in and near High River too. But now to show you my screensaver. The original reason I went to this part of Alberta was to take a picture of the mountains to be my screensaver, and well, the mountains were beautiful, but I love those 3 grain elevators in Mossley Moor. Wow.
Traveling with Dan.